and we wanted to know as well, is there any considerable factor coming to play from your end of having a running mate that is a youthful face, or even a woman? Have you considered? Or maybe this is a secret that you don't want to reveal?
No, it's not a secret.
Yes.
You know, normally what happens, in any situation where you want a running mate, there are quite a number of factors which come into play. One of them is the issue of balancing your county. That, you know, most counties, like Kitui is very expansive. About, you know, it's about 30,000 square kilometer and above. It's actually about 30.4.
That's huge.
So you can imagine that's very huge. So it means if I come from one side of the county, then it makes a lot of sense for the purpose of balancing the county, to have somebody also from that side. And you know, we have Kitui and Mwingi. So those are two areas, the regions. So that's one factor you can't ignore. The other factor is, after you do your preliminary campaigns, you will be able to identify which are my strongholds. And then you want somebody who can also add value to your, in terms of votes. So that the person you pick will come from an area where you think you are weak, and by bringing that person on board, then you can get more votes. Then there is also the issue of merit. You know, there's something which Lotte has mentioned, which is critical. You know, the thing is, everybody, you have your strengths and you have your weaknesses. Now, when I do a sort of analysis on myself, there are areas I would say, these are the areas I think I'm a bit weak. I might not be able. So I would want somebody who will supplement my weaknesses, so that there's a balance between my weaknesses and my strengths. So I would look at if my running mate who would come and say, for example, being an economist, that's a social scientist, would it be wise to bring somebody to have a lot of resources, natural resources, somebody who is more knowledgeable on that other side, so that when we are a team, we can balance it. The other thing is the issue of gender. Kitui, like Kenyan, most of the counties in this country, women are more than men in terms of voting bloc. So I would imagine by bringing a lady as my deputy, would I then be bringing also the woman vote into my basket? So there are these factors you consider, and then the young people. Generally, at national level, 70% of the voters are the young people, which means Kitui more likely is the same situation. So if I bring on young person, will that person likely to also add more votes? So these are things at the right time you'll have to sit down and consider, so that by the time you appoint somebody, then you know the person you're getting your running mate is somebody then you. So
you've not considered?
Not yet. You know, for now I'm just consolidating my now.
Because you've given me an analysis. Just
I've not. I don't want to cheat. I've not. But
it's so binary. You know, either it's a youthful face or it's a woman.
No, what I'm saying now, what I'm doing currently is first of all to consolidate myself as a person. Set the candidate of Makali Mulu as a, what will Makali Mulu as a governor candidate do for you, and what does he bring to the table? Then after, now people know this is now our governor candidate is the person we're going to vote for. Then I will ask myself then, who can then supplement what I don't have? And that's the area now I've considered these things. It's too early to start saying about a running mate currently, because we're still doing the mapping, the preliminary campaigns, and that takes time to bow. Otherwise, it will be very tricky to pick Leto now, and people will say, because if they say they don't want Leto, then I start doing disservice to myself. I must so you must be very careful. It's a very carefully crafted strategy that you push your candidature first.
So timing also is very key.
Very important.
When you're making this pronouncement, it might really work for you or work
against you. It can go against you totally. It can work against you or work for you. So that's why you also need to kusikiza ground.
Uko na masikio pia.
Yeah, lazima uwe na masikio ground. But coming to what Reto was saying, yes. I think he's making a very important point, and the challenge is now the timing. You know, what he's talking is an ideal situation where we are more on issue-based politics than the Kenyan politics. You know, Kenyan politics, we are yet not there. Where are we today as Kenyan politics? And you can use the 2022 elections as a good example of where we are. Where we are in a situation where currently the Kenyan politics is more informed in terms of regions and some tribal kind of orientation. Now, that being the case, and then you combine that with democracy, which demands that the majority will have their way. Now, when you go regional and tribal, then you have those blocks with those blocks of votes. For example, when you talk about Central Kenya, they pride themselves having about 5 million votes. You talk to the Karenjin, they pride them with 3 million blocks. You come to us, we are talking about we have 2 million blocks, you see? So if that being the case, now, once we go regional, then it means there are very minimal chances of the minority assuming leadership in this country, because people will vote on those blocks. But now, as we move to the future, and I think there was some attempt to that last year, but one, when the Gen Zs went against the finance bill. You know, it brought up some new dynamics into our politics, that we could actually have another bloc, or bloc called Gen Zs, which has never existed. And this bloc called Gen Zs doesn't think regional. They don't think about where they come from. They think about their issues. So it means as we move to the future then, if we now come with another issue, if we build on the Gen Zs initiative and start bringing issues of merit, issue-based, anybody can become a president in this country. So more is a matter of what time frame are we talking about? Is it short term? Is it long term? And for me, from where I see it, I'm really very observant how 2027 will play. Because 2027 will also be a break or make elections. Why am I saying that? If the Gen Zs vote as a bloc without going back to their regions, then that would be a serious departure from our history. And that would now start laying the right foundation for even you, Dibao, irrespective of where you come from, becoming a president of this country, based on what you have on the table in terms of what manifesto do you give to Kenyans, and what are your strengths? Because I've seen that there's a lot of issues of trust when it comes to politics. So that so long as people can trust you and believe that with their leadership in your hands, they are safe, then you can become the president. But as at now, we are still in that situation where you think more regional blocks, tribal blocks, and that is our undoing. A
very interesting conversation also we were having on space, and some of the agencies were raising issues regarding, the suppression that has been there, even when we're touching about on the NADCO reports, the issue of